about the balance of classes. Let me start off by saying that I am neither an insanely good nor bad player. I, since launch, have played Assault almost exclusively. I have him on Prestige 4, completely maxed, yet I still struggle to complete even a Ruthless True solo with Assault. Okay, interesting. Eventually, I thought I'd try playing some Bulwark since everyone is raving about how good he is. Got him to level 16, Purple Block Power Sword, on whatever it was fencing, and Relic Plasma Pistol, not even a single Prestige perk, and no Invigorating Icon. They are level 16. Inferno Ruthless, easiest thing I've ever done. Please note that I have basically zero Bulwark experience, and I still easily did it with him, what I can barely do with Assault. This balancing is some BS. Alright, so this is a pretty interesting post. I think what ended up happening after this post, by the way, was made about a week ago, and I think what ended up happening with this post, for whatever reason, is there seemed to be like a uptick with classes are OP type posts. So there's a lot of people talking about, Bulwark being overpowered, even Vanguard being overpowered, and I definitely just wanted to hopefully level out this conversation a bit. My opinion, as far as what happened in this situation specifically, is when you're playing Bulwark, you are playing patiently, you're looking for opportunities, you're looking for parries, Banner is going to help you clear up mistakes. When you're playing the Assault class, you're playing very aggressively. So I'm not surprised that Assault players, especially if you've been watching some of my Assault gameplay recently, I'm not surprised Assault players put themselves in a position to effectively get hurt a lot. Basically, the risk reward with Assault is all risk and barely reward, and then the risk reward for Bulwark is no risk and all reward. So yeah, I'm not surprised something like this happens. I'm not going to sit here and say Bulwark is overpowered, but there's definitely has been a conversation centering around Invigorating Icon and how strong it is, and if it needs another rework. Invigorating Icon should work like Titus's ability in the campaign. Invigorating Icon continues to be the best Bulwark perk despite being nerfed for a couple of months now because it provides instant full heal on executions. Well, it refills your health bar with contested health. It doesn't provide you full heal on executions, even though that is basically what you use it for. Yeah, it refills your health bar with contested health. So there's a lot of times where I drop Banner and I just want to heal my teammates, but there's not an execution, but there's a lot of enemies. I will drop the Banner as long as we're all within the Banner, because not only am I going to heal them with contested health, I'm also going to buff their damage. I really like Banner to be placed within a tough fight and not to be used as a stim. That's pretty much how I like to use it. So when it really comes down to healing with the Banner, I am not 100% against them making the healing a little bit less instant. I think that is the best way to go about it. But here's the thing. If we aren't getting Apothecary, if we aren't going to see more stim spawns, if we aren't going to see any sort of contested health rework or anything like that, I am still not 100% confident in reworking Invigorating Icon, because the systems in the game right now, I really feel like Invigorating Icon makes it difficult for the devs to just give us the benefit of the doubt, essentially, and just allow us to get more stims. I overall think the Prestige perk, where you can get some extra healing from stims, I think that should be across the board a Prestige perk for every class. When it comes to Invigorating Icon, if they were to make it more of a build-up for healing, like let's say you're within the Banner for like 3 seconds and that starts to slowly refill your health bar with contested health, I think that makes a lot of sense. I really do. I think that would play into the fact that you actually have to play around Banner to get the benefits. I think that makes sense completely. However, again, with the lack of stims and lack of an Apothecary, I think they should put the cooldown back to where it was. If they rework Invigorating Icon, I don't want to see them rework it and then keep the nerf that it had when it was what it looked like originally. Because yeah, if they change Invigorating Icon, you can't make the argument that it deserves the same nerf when it was overpowered, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Now, Bulwark's power fantasy has always been a tank support, and the ability to heal your teammates with a banner makes sense. Banners in-game usually are a buff of sorts. However, due to its strength and popularity, it makes other perks in its row A fun choice, but always an inferior one despite being the only one with a penalty. I mean, yeah, that's just the nature of healing in this game. If we didn't have a healing issue, if we didn't have stim spawn at like 1 in every 10 minutes, some of these healing perks wouldn't be seen as that necessary, but they're only seen as necessary because we already have a strict handicapped heal situation in this game at the moment for higher difficulties. But like, look, I like Glory Shield. I believe that is in the same column as Invigorating Icon. It's and yeah, sometimes I bring it out, sometimes I bring it out. What it effectively does is give players a damage resistance buff, and it also lets Banner kind of hang out for a longer time. I really like that. I honestly like that paired with rapid regeneration, to be completely honest. My solution is simple. Banner should either as a baseline or with the perk Invigorating Icon grant you the buff that as long as you stand within the radius of the banner, you gain health by attacking enemies. This makes Banner work more as intended, a rallying point around with players gathered to recover as they are assaulted by the Horde. I personally believe that Bulwark should be able to heal teammates as a part of his base kit, as opposed to a perk, because trying to compete with healing in this game is a very hard thing to do. See Vanguard team perks is almost always unmatched zeal. Yeah, that's another situation, for sure. I mean, dude, when it comes to overpowered classes, Vanguard and Bulwark has been mentioned recently. Because healing is so rare and it would encourage other players to go under your banner, naturally creating fun scenarios of 3 Space Marines fighting shoulder to shoulder and encouraging going together. And by the way, I don't think Unmatched Zeal is overpowered, to be completely honest. I think Unmatched Zeal is one of those difficulty adjuster perks where it's like, is Unmatched Zeal doing anything if you don't have Extremists? No, it doesn't do anything, right? But when you have a whole bunch of extremists, all of a sudden it's super overpowered. And in my opinion, I think that's just something that is, you know, leveling up with the difficulty, and it can seem overpowered. I think for really good teams, it can seem overpowered because they are likely healing each other correctly with the stims they're picking up, and then Unmatched Zeal is just like a bonus. But again, I gotta be honest, if Unmatched Zeal is overpowered to you, use Inner Fire, man. Inner Fire is way more fun anyway. Like, I don't get it. You don't have to use Unmatched Zeal. I mean, in higher difficulties, maybe. But still, if I saw Inner Fire and I'm playing heavy, I'm happy with that. That's fine for me, to be completely honest. But again, this all really depends, and not to mention, I feel like this is the consequence of having a super inconsistent higher difficulty, is that sometimes Unmatched Zeal is super overpowered because the game can't stop spamming extremists. So it's like, well, in that situation, yeah, pick Unmatched Zeal because the game's doing something it doesn't normally do in higher difficulties. You specifically need a condition for that to happen. So if the difficulty in higher difficulties is super inconsistent, I do feel uncomfortable with nerfing anything in this game, to be completely honest. So I definitely wanted to just jump on this conversation a bit, just to point that out, where it's like, yeah, sure, some of these perks can feel overpowered, but we're going to get a condition with permadeath soon. I'm not too sure how you balance the game around that, to be completely honest. Tip: take the 40% extra health per medkit prestige perk first on Bulwark to help you level up through the prestiges. I really like this prestige perk. I just wanted to reiterate that the devs should really make this a prestige perk for every class, 100%. Like, we are in a weird position where we think healing is overpowered because the game just doesn't provide healing. So I honestly think, hey, you know what? Fine. Just let everyone have a prestige perk to let them get more healing from the stims, effectively allowing the stims to go a little bit further in higher difficulties. I think this should be, honestly, I really don't think this is a debate or a discussion. I think this should genuinely be a prestige perk for every class if we are in such a dire need for ethical healing. Why not, right? I wasn't planning on taking this perk in my endgame 4 prestige perk build, but took it now on prestige 3 and realized it's actually very worthwhile while leveling as Invigorating Icon is close to the end of the perk tree. Yes, it is. You need to be level 23, I believe. With and without it at level 1, I noticed a big difference in how the rounds felt. Needed to try much harder on my last 2 prestiges. It basically lets me clear wounds on 1 medkit where 2 would be required, or 2 medkits where 3 would be required. Particularly good value if you're leveling by spamming wave 5 hard siege. I wish I had taken it as my first prestige perk. This is a huge good note. I like to see that. But also, by the way, he's hopefully he's talking about joining wave 5 hard siege mode in the private lobby, right? Right? Any other prestige perks for other classes that you think are particularly good for helping you re-level up after each reset, but may not necessarily be your go-to for prestige 4 max level? That's interesting. No, I use this perk on tactical with fortitude, and it feels really good. It does feel really good. I think the assault class, since the assault class has fortitude, should have this perk as well. I think Vanguard should have this perk. I think Heavy should have this perk, and I think Sniper should have this perk. Now, which prestige perks they replace with it, not sure, but I know for a fact Heavy does have a prestige perk you can replace because it is the hipfire one, which I don't know if anyone uses that. I'm pretty sure you can find at least one perk for the assault class to replace this with. So as far as our discussion with Invigorating Icon being overpowered or whatever, I just want to provide this type of solution, quote unquote. It's not really a solution, but I still think this perk specifically will help out the healing economy more so than we think, in my opinion. I think it's a bit of an underrated perk, and I think classes that are struggling with healing would definitely enjoy having more healing from healing sources in the game, ethically, apparently. But yeah, I don't want to see Invigorating. I really don't want to see Invigorating Icon get nerfed, and we don't receive anything to compensate for that. Because it's so weird, where it's like, wow, healing's really unenjoyable in this game. Wow, contested health really needs a rework. Wow, healing's too scarce. Wow, healing is overpowered. It just doesn't really sit right to me, to be completely honest. I do think the conditions, the hard mode conditions in this game, make higher difficulties super inconsistent. So labeling anything as overpowered, I just don't know if it's 100% accurate. However, you have to consider my example with Unmatched Zeal earlier. If you drop into Minimal with Unmatched Zeal, it does not get any stronger. It is effectively going to level out with the difficulty. If you jump into Minimal with Invigorating Icon, it will definitely feel overpowered. You are going to be able to full heal your teammates while they are also getting stims. Now, should that be the example that you use to make Invigorating Icon look overpowered? No, but that is the example I will be using to compare Invigorating Icon to Unmatched Zeal. I do think if any one of these should be reworked, it should be Invigorating Icon. Banner should be the We Fight Here and Now ability, and I hate how it becomes a Bluetooth pocket heal that feels mandatory for high difficulties. 100% agree with this change, and I think it should scale with armor gain amount, so the perk that boosts armor gain but reduces duration is actually takeable now. No, I mean, yeah, right. I did mention that earlier. I do like picking that perk with Glory's Shield. However, yeah, you'll be replacing Purity of Purpose, and I'm just not doing that. Yeah, dude, this is the only thing that bothers me. Feels mandatory for high difficulty, and then we also don't get healing in high difficulty outside of it. So it's like, yeah, it's mandatory only because we don't actually have any support. And it does feel like the devs balance the stim spawns around the fact that we have healing perks, right? Like, are we all on the same page with that one? Because I think if we didn't have aggressively strong healing perks that were, you know, in my opinion, appropriate for super hard stratagems and everything. But yeah, if we didn't have any of these aggressively good healing perks, do you think the devs would have stagnated stim spawns? Like, if we had a more balanced Invigorating Icon, do you think the devs are going to add more stim spawns? Because I think they should if they do end up nerfing any of these mandatory heal perks. It does feel weird. It feels like the devs put us in this position, to be completely honest. I mean, Invigorating Icon didn't feel too strong until people started pairing it with Inner Fire, but then it's like, still, could you imagine bringing Inner Fire Invigorating Icon out in Lethal with a Prestige 4 class? Yeah, things have changed. Things definitely have changed since then. So yeah, if we're gonna have permadeath, if we're gonna have things like extra spore mines, if we're gonna have things that are, we get damaged when we roll, I don't understand why something like Invigorating Icon is getting so much heat. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely why I wanted to jump on this conversation, because I think Invigorating Icon, honestly, in my opinion, as it is right now, it feels balanced around the hardest conditions, and it feels balanced around the fact that you just won't find stims, right? So I still agree that Banner shouldn't feel like a pocket heal. It should feel like a we fight here and now ability. That's the way I like to use it. I like to drop Banner, make sure you guys have contested health for this fight, so whatever damage you get, you can heal yourself, obviously, right? Now, it just remains to be said. I do think the way they should rework Invigorating Icon is to have it be more like Titus's campaign ability. I agree. Basically, if you're within the banner and you damage an enemy, you will get healing, but you won't get insta healing from your stim or whatever. I mean, honestly, yeah, when it comes to pocket healing with Banner, I don't even like playing it that way because I want purity of purpose in a fight. I try my best to find a balanced situation for it. Like, I don't want to just drop Banner on your execution. I want to drop Banner in a huge fight. I want to buff our damage. I want purity of purpose to take out gaunts and, other small enemies. And then I want Invigorating Icon to help you guys, obviously, top off your health, but also stay in the fight effectively. So that, yeah, I don't like the pocket heal. I don't. I agree with that. I do want it to be a we fight here and now ability. However, again, if they do turn it into Titus's ability, I would like to see them unnerf Invigorating Icon from where it was originally. Because, yeah, if it was overpowered as a pocket heal on 2 minutes, they nerf it to 3 minutes. Now it's not a pocket heal anymore because they rework it. Why would they keep the original 3-minute cooldown? It should go back to 2 minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. If the devs do decide to heavily nerf Invigorating Icon to the point where it's not usable, I think they should add in more stims for hard difficulties, because yeah, hard stratagems are going to be a lot more inconsistent when it comes to which classes can perform well in certain conditions and everything like that. So we will see, but yeah, I was genuinely surprised at how many people were talking about overpowered Invigorating Icon recently, so I definitely wanted to jump into this conversation. People were just saying Bulwark in general is overpowered as well, so again, just wanted to jump into this conversation. Maybe there is something to iron out about class balance, but let's be real here for a second. We all understand how the Assault class can put itself in very risky situations, and we all understand how the devs do not put the Assault in a position to support itself in those risky situations. Even Unyielding Oath effectively can be risky and put you into a position to get sniped in the air, even though you can effectively get iframes from it. It's just not enough. It's just not enough in my opinion. I would like to see the Assault class get the extra healing from Stim's Prestige perk, 100%. I would still like to see the Assault class get some ammo regeneration, 100%. Still silly it doesn't have any. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I do think when it comes to overpowered perks, Invigorating Icon is the one perk everyone keeps talking about. So definitely just wanted to try to iron out this conversation a little bit, because yeah, some people don't think it's overpowered at all. But I do want to point to them, man, this perk does feel very convenient as a pocket heal. I don't want it to feel like a pocket heal. I want that we fight here and now. If you want healing, you get in the banner. I like that a lot more. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. And thanks for watching.